And he's like, yeah, I can't do it. He goes, just, the way that you've put all this stuff together and the fact that they won't do it, he goes, I'm leaving. He goes, I'm leaving the government. The United States government, Washington, got very interested in me. So they connected me with a guy named Hakan Caitlin. I think that was his name. He was the guy working out of the San Diego office. He got bumped up to become the station chief in Dallas. And he said, I'm leaving. He goes, but I found this guy. Actually, he's one of only 2 guys in the entire Homeland Security that has the ability to fly internationally to do these sex trafficking, human trafficking cases. He's like, you're gonna love it. I'm like, okay, connect me. Tim Ballard. So I get this email from Tim Ballard. Hey, what's happening, man? Hakan said to hook up with you. Dude, we gotta take down these traffickers. We gotta rescue these kids. And I'm like, whoa, dude, slow down, right? I don't even know this guy. So he said, hey, man, you get me intel. He goes, I will get this stuff done. I'm like, man, I've been hearing that for 5 years now. Nobody gets anything done. He's like, I will get it done. I'm like, okay, man. Okay, so we go up and we walk in. We're with Alessandra. And I'm thinking this guy's out of his mind, right? Like, he's more jacked up than I am. And she's just looking at all of us like, yeah, okay. So she was real cool about it. She's like, listen, we can do it. This is what we're gonna need. You gotta do it right. And she's explaining it. And Tim's like, oh yeah. We'll do all that. That's how he is. He's like, yeah. So the meeting ends, and he's like, yeah. He goes, it's a go. I'm like, that's not what she said. She didn't say it was a go. She said she had to run it up chain. He's like, no, man, it's a go. It's a go. Let's go. So that's how I got involved with the U.S. government. That's how I first met Tim. Tim's like, okay, they've given me the full green light. And I don't know what happened budget-wise, but something happened to their budget. And they had money for everything else, but they didn't have money for this. And Tim told me at that point I had operators, intel, CIs everywhere, literally everywhere in Latin America. And Tim's like, okay, man, open the throttle, full throttle. We've got green light to go after them all. So I opened the freaking throttle, and I got packages. I'm like, Tim, we got like 38 packages, actionable packages. And he's like, yeah, man. He goes, I gotta tell you. He goes, they're not gonna let us do it. We're done. We're shut down. And he's like, yeah, I can't do it. He goes, just, the way that you've put all this stuff together and the fact that they won't do it, he goes, I'm leaving. He goes, I'm leaving the government. He goes, I'm gonna come do this crap with you. I didn't know anything about him other than he was crazy and willing to do anything. And he calls me, he's like, yeah, I'm leaving. But before I leave, let's get some stuff done. He goes, can you go to Haiti? And I'm like, I've never been to Haiti. I guess I can go there. So Tim's like, yeah, we can fund it, because I told him we don't have the money. He's like, oh, we can fund it. So I looked into flights, and I found like flight for $300, and the hotels were like 60 or 70 bucks. And he said 3 nights only, 3 nights. And I found a more expensive flight, but it was a better flight, and I found a hostel for like 15 bucks. And then he started doing these communications with a donor or some donors, and by mistake, he emailed me on one of them, CC'd me, and he's like, Batman can do it he can do everything hotel and flight for $800. So I get this email, and I'm thinking, what the heck is this guy talking about? So I write him back. I'm like, who's Batman? And Tim's like, oh man. He goes, that's what we call you. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. So that's where Batman started.